What's up guys, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. So today I'm going to be doing Diavolo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, the main villain. So wide page, he's got wide shoulders and head and shoulders as usual. So we're gonna go, wide, shoulders down here, head up here. And I zoomed in a little bit just to get his eyes and that sort of face and stuff like that. He's got a lot of details on his body, a lot of tattoos on his arm. We could just see maybe a little bit of that, but not too much, just to make it a bit easier for ourselves. Right eyelid, so we're just above halfway. So the middle of our page, and we're just a little bit, this is about halfway. This is probably where his mouth would be. And then we're going to bring it up just to his eyes. So we're starting just about here, and then we're going to go diagonal up this way. We're going to bring it across the top. So we're going to curve it across this way. And then it comes up just to a little point at the end. Just there. So that's his top eyelid. It's kind of curving slightly because he's got big eyelashes. This one then is going to come down like so, curving down back in towards his nose, where his nose would be. And then we're going to keep this going around back in then towards his tear ducts in there. So we can make these lines just a little bit thicker. So we're just going to color this dark side in here and maybe make this thicker just on top. Maybe a little bit thicker on the bottom. And then we can add some eyelashes just sticking off this. And some coming off the bottom as well. Lots of eyelashes on JoJo's characters. And in there, so he has Diavolo, when he's sort of activating his powers, he can have this triangle sort of in his eye. So to do that, we're going to do the triangle first because it's over his iris. So depending on where you put it, you can put it anywhere really, but I'm going to put it just here. So starting with the end of it, and then this is going to go in towards his eye, just into here. And that's sitting on top of his iris. So then his iris is going to come down like so, and then maybe back up just under in here. His pupil then is in there, and so it, like his eyelid is half closed, so you can only see sort of half of his pupil. It's not the whole lot of it, like his iris. So it's a semicircle again, and you can color that in dark. We're going to do, so he's got lines around his eyes. So he's got like a big bottom eyelid line. So it's going to go, so JoJo characters have sort of lines on their faces and stuff. That sort of making that distinctive JoJo style. So you're going to curve this around here on the bottom. Okay, so we have a top eyelid just coming out from his eyebrow. So we'll do his eyebrow first. So his eyebrows are real close, come across the top of his eye. So just in here in the middle, we're going to do the end of that, just there like that. And of course the other one on the other side is here as well, if you want to draw that while you're there. So that eyebrow goes that way, this one goes this way. And then the real thin, so this one is going to come right close to his eye, just there, like a tick. And then it kind of bends a little bit and waves up this way to there. And then this is pointy at the end, so you could do just a little spike here, and it waves and bends down to this one. So it kind of bends down here. So they're not perfectly straight, they're kind of crinkled sort of. And say from this end, so like it'll have a bump on it there. And this will come down in the middle and then up to here. A little pointy at the end there as well. And then he has a top eyelid line, so we're just going to add a top eyelid line there. Now, so the good thing about JoJo characters is that their eyes are in proportion, which means there's another eye in between here. So if you measured this, you'd be able to fit another eye in here, and that'll tell you where to start the next eye. So along this line, the distance between those two eyes is an eye. Like, not exactly, you could, a few millimeters in the difference, but usually it's about an eye. Some animes aren't in proportion, but JoJo characters are. I think Naruto characters usually are. So, so there we go. As well, hit pause if I go too fast, and use a pencil for these as well first. You can ink after, but use a pencil first. And sketch lightly with your pencil. It's easier to erase mistakes if you sketch them lightly. Anyway, talking too much. So the next eye. So we go diagonal up, like the other one. Like this. And then this is going to come across, like so. And then it's going to curve up the other side. So we're going to go. Comes to a little point at the end. And you can make that line pretty thick. And then this is going to come down this side. And it's going to curve around and back into the tear duct, just in there. So they'd be on the same line, top and bottom, You don't want to go too high up, too far down, to keep them in line with one another. And then we can just darken up the inside of his pupil here, and you can thicken up this line a little bit, not just to make him stand out. And you can add the eyelashes then, so just little spikes coming down all the way around. Up as well. Like so. And then he's got the triangle inside his eye as well. So we'll add that first. So it's on the left side of his eye on this one, so we'll keep it the same. So we'll do triangle. Like so. Then his iris. So we're going to curve it around. So a semicircle coming around. Like so. And then coming up the other side. And a pupil just inside there as well. I have seen his eyes without the pupil if you wanted to leave it like that. But just to give it an extra bit of realism, I think I'll give him a pupil. Because I'm old school. But I have, in the anime, I think his eyes are just green inside. But in the video game, he's got a pupil. Because I've looked up images from the video game as well. So, it's up to you, really. So we'll do his next eyebrow. So we're going to go from here. Bring it right close to his eye, going up this way. Like a tick. Going up here. And then it can bend and wave and stuff. Going up to a pointy, just across from this one. Pointy part just there. And then it comes back to a point this way. And then it comes down. Like so. And it can bend and wave. Going up here. So they don't have to be perfectly straight eyebrows. That's a good thing. And then we have eyelid line. So we have an eyelid line coming out from just under the eyebrow here, across the top of his eye. Like so. Another one underneath, just here. This one can be a bit thicker. like so. So depending on how angry you want to make him, you can add frown lines coming up in the middle of his brow. You know, some coming off his eyebrow here. I might add some of these details when we've the rest of the face drawn in, because sometimes he can have dark shadows around his nose. Just makes him look more evil, I guess. So we're going to come down now and just do the bottom of his nose. So in JoJo style, it's just kind of a V. So it's kind of just down here. So say here, that's where his nose would be. So his nose is about, so it's halfway between his eyes and his chin. So if you know where his chin would be, so probably there. So it'd be the same distance from, say, his top of his eye to his chin down there. It's halfway. That's the bottom of his nose. And then this is just a V, pointy nose to there. And he can have these lines that just show nostrils just coming in here. And then there's some hatching lines just on his nose that come up in a V sort of section as well. So say like just here, these lines. And then they go down on this side. Like so. And the nose stops on the inside of the tear duct, the inside of the eye there. That's how far you go with the eye. Just here, see? Once you get facial proportions, they're kind of the same on most of these characters. Especially the ones that keep the eyes human size and stuff like that. They don't blow them up real big. Okay, so his top lip then is just underneath his nose here. So you want to just do a curved line for that center of the lip. Cupid's bow, I think it's called. And then this is going to come down one side, then down the other side. And the edges of his mouth stop just underneath the inside of his eye there, the iris. They go a bit wider than the nose. So they just go to there. Then the middle line for his mouth just comes across there. So we have this sort of bumping line like so. Comes down to the bottom lip, then back across. Real big lips on JoJo characters. And then the bottom lip just comes out from underneath that. So we can have sometimes a line just for his chin, just here. And sometimes it's shaded in, just like so. Now, so his jawline is going to come up and go underneath his hair, so it doesn't go all the way. So we have his chin defined here, so we're going to go make it a bit longer and curve the edges. And then this is going to come up to about there. It doesn't go all the way because it goes underneath spikes for his hair. So about there, just across from his nose. Same on the other side. So we're going to bring it up like so. And maybe we can see a bit more on this side. Like that. Right, so his hair frames in his face. So what that means is you can't see the side of his head. You can just see the hair representing the side of his head. So that means we have a spike just here. And a spike just here. And then these come up to the top of his head just up here. So we're going to bring it, say, to here. So we'll go around like so. Okay. And there's two more hair fringes that come down here. This one goes up as well. This one meets another hair spike just here. So then in here we have a fringe spike that comes down right close to his eyebrow and then back up to here. This is going to come in and go around into the top of his head like so. And we have another one over here, so it's going to come down to a spike. Just here, go back up, and curve in around to here as well. So then in here we have sort of hairline lines that represent the underneath of those hair spikes, just coming in here, curving around, going around his head, going underneath those hair spikes just there. And then we have the other side of this curvy hair spike coming around this way, like so. Kind of like a Dragon Ball character, they kind of curve out the same kind of way. So you can have another line coming there. And then this one sort of meets in the middle, it comes up here. And goes down around there. And a double line maybe for that one. So Diavolo has a line going right through the middle of his head, sort of the part for his hair. So it's kind of like a lightning line. So it's coming right out from the middle of his head, just here. So we have one line there, one line there. And this is going to go all the way to the top of his head, which is, I would say here, back here. Right here, I'd say. So it's usually like halfway from the distance from his eyes to his chin to the top of his head. It's a bit more on this one. I think his hair is sticking up a little bit at the back. So this is going to come all the way down to long hair, right? So let's say if we make this longer, so this is going to come all the way down, bumping into like here. Maybe with some sticking up every now and then just to give it some character. And then we're going to bring this down. Right, so this is all long hair that goes down behind his shoulders and his head and his neck. And then this lightning line, that this part in his hair, will go all the way to the back of his head. So go that direction first, go that direction next, and then we're going to go to here, and then we go this way, that way, and then back to the back of his head just there. And of course this is double line, so we go back that way and then join it to here. Right, so these spikes come up around to here, so we're going to go up around. Like so. And then this one as well, real big. Like so. And then we have two bigger ones coming down across the front of his body, so we're going to go down to a big spike down here. So this is all hair. And then this one is going to come up like so. And it's going to come up around the side of his head. So it's going to go up to here. All the way up and into there. And then we have some more hairlines coming out from here, going down his head. You can add as many of these as you want. You can thicken some of them up, give them some shadow. You know, play around with it. That's always the best thing about drawing, you know. Have a bit of fun. And then on the other side, so we're going to go from here. And then this longer, Comes all the way. Real long one now, this. It's longer than this one. So it comes down to here. And then this comes up like so. All the way up around and into here. And then you can add some more hairlines coming this way. Then you can add some shadow. You can add some hairlines on the hair spikes. This will probably be a long video, guys, because Diavolo is a fairly complicated character to draw, very particular. He's got all spots on his hair, he's got all tattoos on his arms and stuff like that. So take your time and pause a lot. Pause the video when I move my hand like this. It'll help you out. So I'm just adding some hairlines now, adding some details. So we'll add the rest of his hair and then we'll do his neck and shoulders. Right, so down here we have another hair spike just coming out here like so. And then this is going to come back up and into here. Come back up like so. And then we have the piece of hair that goes down behind his shoulder. So we're going to bring it down just to about where we think his shoulder would be. So his chin's there, so his shoulder would be just here. Just about here. And then we have some hairlines and stuff inside. So we're gonna add his shoulder that comes down here, but we'll do the neck and stuff first. So the hair just stops, just stay in line with his chin, just there. So we'll add some more hair spikes on this side. Coming in, one in there. And then a big long one. So his hair is kind of blowing this direction. So it's gonna go around. And then another line for that just here. So it goes down off my page. And then there's some more behind his shoulder on this side, but we'll add that in a minute. So it sticks out from behind his shoulder. So you can add some hairlines coming out from this as well. So these are just hatching lines that I can see on some of the parts of his hair. You don't have to add any of that really, but I can see it, so I might as well do it so you can see it. So Diavolo has leopard spots all over his hair. So let's go. So I'm just going to start drawing them in and then I'll color them in. So they're kind of black. I think they're black. Yeah, they're black. Okay, so some lines on the face. So just coming down from the eyes just here. So we can add some of those JoJo style lines that come down the side of the face. So just coming down from maybe the side of the eye here, you're just going to add a line that comes down the jawline just there. And just coming down this side as well. Just Just coming down maybe towards the side of the mouth. In like so. And Diavolo can have sort of dark shadows under his eyes and sort of around the top of his eyebrow here, right? So, say coming in from here, right? We're going to add just coming down the side of his nose, like that, and then towards here. And this can come back up into here, depending on how dramatic you want to make it. You can have some hatching lines and come back up in underneath his eye, like so. So like up into here and like, and then this can be real dark inside. So it's like a dark shadow. Just kind of makes him look a bit more sinister. See, like that? You don't have to do this, of course. You could skip this step altogether and just color it in skin color. But if you wanted to give it that extra sort of JoJo look, you can. So we do the same on the other side. Coming down towards his nose there. And then we bring it back up underneath his eye, and maybe you could add some hatching coming out of it, like so. And then another one here, and then dark inside. So it all depends on how detailed you want to go. I do like detail though. And Diavolo can have some coming up his forehead too. So just coming up, say this direction. So these sort of dramatic shadow lines coming up like so. And you can add some hatching maybe coming up the top of them, like so. And then you can add some more on this side. So just feeling it out, trying to figure out how it looks. What do you want to do with it? How dramatic do you want the shadow to be? Like so. Just adding some hatching lines. Right, so his neck. So coming down from his jaw, just here, we have a neckline, just like that. We have another neckline just inside here, going underneath his hair. This then is going to come down to his trapezius muscle, just that way. This is going to continue down behind his hair, come out the other side here, and then we're going to go for his shoulder, which comes all the way down to there. Okay, we're going to do the same on this side. So imagine they're a mirror image. So this is going to come down, curve around, come out for his shoulder here. Might have a little bump up here, and then we're going to go down and around. So we're going to go curve it down this way. Down around here like so. Really big shoulder. And then this is going to come down for his tricep and arm, just down there. So he's kind of tilted a little bit, so this shoulder is a bit higher than that one. Because he's got a JoJo pose on, like they always do. They're never just straight. Never just standing like straight on. So that's the fun thing about JoJo, all the poses. And now that his shoulders are in, we can do another hair spike here, another hair spike there, and the rest of his hair that comes down just behind his shoulder, just here. So like down to there. And maybe a hairline or two and a leopard spot. And on this side, leopard spot. Man, this is going to be a long video, I apologize. And I'm talking a lot. But he's been requested a good few times, Diavolo, so take your time, don't rush. So we'll do the collar first for the top of his costume. So we'll go along here, coming out from this hair here, just underneath his chin. And it's like below his shoulder line, so you've gone down a bit. And then this is going to come up and around, like so, and it goes around his neck, okay? And you might be able to see it just in here as well. So then we can see his neck muscles inside there, so oops. So we have a neck muscle there. Maybe a line just for Adam's apple, maybe with some shadow on it. Just there. Maybe thicken this up a bit. And then his collarbone comes right across here. So where these two neck muscles meet sort of down here, we're going to have the middle of his, it's called his clavicle, so it's where his throat goes up. And his collarbone comes down that way, and his collarbone will come down that way. So the collarbone always lines up, the direction lines up with the top of the shoulder, because you have a joint here called your AC joint, and the collarbone comes into it, like that. So he's kind of tilted up that way. But the collarbone will run along here and join this joint in the shoulder, just here. And then we have some more lines for neck muscles, just in there. Maybe some hatching. And then in this gap, some hairlines. It'll be darker, of course, in here because it's the underneath of his hair, so you can add some thicker lines, maybe just there. Same on this side. Okay, so running down the middle of his chest, so coming down like this way. His shoulders are slightly tilted, so it's not straight down. So we have a black line. Comes down to about here, and it's a double line. Comes down to about here. And of course, all these lines are colored in dark black, but we'll draw them in first. So running along the bottom of this, we have these curves. So we're going diagonal now because of his shoulder. So say this one, we're going to go up like so. So curve here. And this comes down this way. And then we have a line that joins this to the next one. So a line across here, and then we have another curve just there. And this is where his arm is. So we're going to draw a line down there. So that's the inside of his arm, the outside of his arm, and then this lace that comes across the top. So then this is going to curve down like so. We have a line that joins them, just like that one. And then down to here. So these are thick double lines just like this one. So we're going to double it up. Like so. And you see we're going sort of slightly smaller over here because his shoulders, his torso is tilted that way. Because I think he's walking. So this one then. Like so, and then another one just here. And this is his arm, just here as well, his sort of armpit and chest muscle just up here too. So the lace goes around his chest muscle, so it kind of goes, so it'll go this direction, curving around his chest muscle just there, goes up underneath his hair, and a little bit might come out just up here. And you can do that on this side as well. So this will go into here. And this time it'll go all the way up to his neck. So it's going to curve like so. Right, so more lines. So we got to do the lace that comes all the way across and that curves around here. So definitely going to be a long video. This goes this way. These are all dark black inside, so I might do that afterwards because I don't want the video to get way longer than it is. So then we have curve line coming out here, curve line bumping off this, curves around, goes back up to his clothes there. Next one comes up around here like so. And then another one just curving in here, a little one. Then these are doubled up, so like this. These are dark black, and then its skin color just inside them. So here, and then make this just a bit thicker as well. See that dark black inside, and then curve this around here. 1, 2, 3. Lace sort of lines inside. There's lace lines inside this one. So just here, curving like so, and then a couple of lace lines inside. So these are all dark black colored inside, all these lines. And we're not done yet. So, right, this line is thicker, coming out from beside his hair, goes down to here, gets thinner as we go down because it goes into his armpit. Then we have another line coming down here. Like so. And then there's a line that comes across. These, don't worry if you go over your line that you did before because they're all dark and black inside anyway. So you're going to be coloring them dark black. And then we have the middle line, so we have another one. It's kind of like Spider-Man. So another one coming down here. Another one curving around this way. And then we have lines that go across his chest. So here, anyone who's got to this point is like, oh man, why did we ask him to draw Diavolo? He's very complicated. I know. Someone said there's no good drawing tutorials of Diavolo. Now you know why. So these lines going across his chest like this. Sorry if I sound a bit nasally as well, I've got a cold. And then there's 1, 2, 3 more of those that go the whole way across. So let's go. So these ones over on this side of his chest, you'll notice they go sort of more diagonal this way and maybe curve around at the end. just to show that they go around his chest like this. They follow his chest muscle down around like that. So they don't have to be perfectly straight because they're sitting on top of his body. So they bend according to what's underneath them. And of course, these are all colored in dark black. So that's black, 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 black. So I'm just putting dots on them so I know. Right, so we can just see a bit more on his shoulder, just here. This, another line there, and then here, and then a line coming across here. So this is black inside, dark inside, black. Maybe a line just for the bottom of his collarbone. I'm speeding up now considerably. Apologies for that. And we can see just some of his chest muscle just here. Coming down like so. Dark black line in there. Maybe some hatching just underneath that. And this chest muscle line comes right up into there. Maybe has some hatching just on it. And then over here as well, it's just some at the bottom of his chest muscle just there. And then this is going to come up to meet in the middle, kind of here. And there's some hatching just on the bottom of the chest muscle. And in here, because this is skin, this gap, so this is dark black, and in here is all skin. The top of his chest just runs across just here. It comes down into there, and there's like some hatching along that as well. Okay, that's that part done. Now, his shoulders. So, we're gonna have a curved line coming down just here, just under the shoulder joint. Curved line coming down here, and then there's like crisscross fishnets all on this. That's right, there's more lines. So we're gonna go this way. So you're following the direction now, curving of his shoulder. So you're gonna curve this like so. Then you're going to curve this like so. Curving like this. All around, kind of like a basketball or, you know, football or something. And then these lines are going to go this way. Like so. 1, 2, 3, and one more. 4. And then in where all of these meet, there's a diamond. And okay, and then down here, Diavolo has some tattoos. So we can just see some lines coming down. So just here. And then another one there, another one there. Coming down like so. And then there's sort of these leaf patterns coming out of it there. This side as well. And then wavy line there. Some leaves coming out of the edge, some spikes. Dots coming down this way. And this is kind of darker. Thicken up some of the lines. So these have all sort of random patterns on them. Triangles come up in here. Another one come off. Okay, and other shoulder just over here. So we have, it's slightly lower than this one. So this curve line is down here. So it's below it. Boom. That's dark black, that's dark black. And then fishnets, more lines covering his shoulder. So and then we're going to follow the shoulder joint again. So curving that way. So you're going curving this direction. It's the opposite to this. Curving that way. Curving that way. This video is probably like 4 hours long. Curving that way. Curving that way. It's worth it though, right? We could just stop time. This one. Now we curve this way. So we're curving up now. 2. One here. And maybe one more just there. And then a diamond in between. Where they all crisscross. You have a diamond, see? The artist who draws JoJo uses Renaissance sculpture and fashion magazines as a reference. I think there's a video on YouTube of him doing it. He just flicks through books of like Michelangelo sculptures and stuff like that. And then he has like fashion mags. So like all the poses that are in JoJo really make sense when you look at the way he draws them and what he uses to draw them. Real interesting. So method or style he's developed, very unique. But all based on fashion and Renaissance sculpture. I'm going to head and color these in black because I can't help myself now. So I'll probably fast forward that. So there's just some lines for his tattoo on this arm as well. I'm not going to go too detailed, just suggest some of that down here. But you could do more if you can fit it in. But there he is, Diavolo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Thanks for watching, guys. Probably a really long one, sorry, really boring. But there he is. Definitely looks better with the black lines. Do check out my Patreon, really helps us out. And yeah, look up more stuff about FTC and COPA and how it's going to affect YouTube, because it might mess things up for a lot of people. But check out Patreon. It'll make sure I can keep doing animated characters. Who knows? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.